Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be going over some anticipated October new book releases. So as I said before, we're going to be going over new books that are coming out in the month of October. It is finally fall, and now we're all looking forward to the spooky season, which I'm pumped for. I love spooky season. That's not even a thing, but like it is a thing. I don't know. On Twitter, like everybody starts celebrating spooky season in like August. So I'm even coming late to the game, but I am so excited to read creepy books, get like the creepy vibes from like scary movies, and just all around immerse myself in autumn. Anyways, I'm going to go over some new books that are coming out in October. I'll probably cap it at around 15 books. I don't even know if we'll get to 15. We'll see how many I get to. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. So the first one I want to mention is Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World. This is a sequel to Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets to the Universe. And I actually read this book last year and I really enjoyed it. I had read it because a lot of people on BookTube were shouting about it, saying it was so good. So I did read it and I did really enjoy it. And so now I'm excited to see that there's a sequel coming out. I thought like I had heard about it a while back, but I completely forgot about it. So the fact that it just came back up again and it's coming out in October gets me super excited because I will really want to be reading this sequel. I can't really say much about this book because it's a sequel, so I don't want to give anything away, but I'll say a little bit about the previous book, so the first one. It's about two boys that meet each other in a border town and they become friends, and it's kind of like them following their story as they're going through high school and different things that happen to them in their lives and how they interact and react to those things. That's all I can really say. Like, it's really hard to summarize this book because, yeah, it's not like it's definitely a character-driven book, which is something that like I don't normally gravitate towards, but I actually really enjoyed this one, which was very surprising to me. So yeah, if you like character-driven books, I think you'll like it. It's also got great LGBTQ plus rep in it, so that's also a plus. And yeah, I'm really excited to read the sequel and see what happens. The next one I'm going to briefly mention because it's another sequel, but that is Kingdom of the Cursed. And this is by Carrie Maniscalco. The first one was Kingdom of the Wicked, and I saw a lot of other people reading this on BookTube. I actually have no idea what this is about, but I just wanted to highlight for anybody that had read the first book, the sequel's coming out in October, so get excited about that, everyone. This next one I'm going to mention is called A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I know that this author, her other books are known to be quite like exciting romantically, if you get my hint there. But I haven't actually read any of her other books. I have heard good things about them though. Lots of people rave about them and say they're fantastic. And so this is like her next book in a new series she's starting. So I'm going to read you guys the synopsis here because I don't want to like butcher it, and we'll see what it is together. Born shrouded in the veils of the primal, a maiden as the fates promised, Seraphina Mural's future has never been hers. Chosen before birth to uphold the desperate deal her ancestors struck to save his people, Sarah must leave behind her life and offer herself to the primal of death as his consort. However, Sarah's real destiny is the most closely guarded secret in all of Asania. She's not the well-protected maiden, but an assassin with one mission, one target. Make the primal of death fall in love, become his weakness, and then end him. If she fails, she dooms her kingdom to a slow demise at the hands of the rot. Sarah has always known what she is: chosen, consort, assassin, weapon. A specter never fully formed, yet drenched in blood. A monster. Until the primal of death's unexpected words and deeds chase away the darkness gathering inside her. And his seductive touch ignites a passion she's never allowed herself to feel and cannot feel for him. But Sarah has never had a choice. Either way, her life is forfeit. It always has been, as she has been forever touched by life and death. So, yeah, I guess from that synopsis you get what I mean by the exciting romantic elements to it. I honestly do think it does sound pretty good. It has like assassins, life and death, situations. Like that sounds like a pretty thrilling read to me. So yeah, if this sounds like something you like, you should definitely check this out. The next book I'm going to mention is Vesper Teen by Margaret Rogerson. So this book actually sounds so good. Like, I am definitely intrigued by this one. So essentially this is following Artemisia, and she is training to be a Grey Sister, which is essentially a nun that works in a convent to cleanse dead bodies of their spirits so that it helps the spirits pass on instead of staying here and like becoming enraged spirits and living on and like terrorizing people. So the convent actually gets attacked by possessed soldiers, and so she decides that instead of passing one on, she actually summons a spirit from one of the relics, and she has to learn how to wield this spirit's power in order to defend and protect others. She learns some things from the spirit along the way that lead to potential betrayals and things like that, which is all what it says in the synopsis. So like, I have no idea where like they're gonna go with that, but I'm really excited and think that this sounds really cool. It's definitely got my interest, and I think that like it's gonna be a good book. But yeah, I also love the cover. I think the cover's really cool. There's just something about a badass main character on the front with a hood, all looking like dark and mysterious. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a fun one. Then we have Well Matched by Jen DeLuca. And so I've actually sent, I don't think this is one that is like part of a like trilogy, but I think it's kind of like a series where they're all their own books. So this is another one being added to that series that can be read as a standalone, I believe. Don't quote me on that. There was another one called Well Met, I believe, and I sent that to my friend Amanda for her birthday a couple years ago, and then I sent her another one in the sequel this year for her birthday. So yeah, but these books are rom-coms set in like Renaissance fairs, so they have lots of like flower crowns, kilts, corsets, sword fights, things like that, and it's essentially just like a new rom-com in each book, all dealing with Renaissance fairs. I think it sounds adorable, and that's all I really know about these series. Yeah, they sound really cute, and Amanda said that she really liked it. So definitely go check this one out if that sounds like something you would enjoy. Next up, we have Heartbreak for Hire by Sonia Hartle, and this one just sounds so interesting to me. So essentially the main character dropped out of grad school, and she now works at an insurance company. But in the background, she actually works for this company called Heartbreak for Hire. And what they do is they will hire someone to go in and kind of take somebody down a notch. So, for example, if it's like jilted lovers or frenemies or anything like that, you could hire somebody to go knock this person down a couple pegs in like a public setting and kind of like embarrass them or something like that. And yeah, I think it's really like interesting that that's a thing. But so anyways, she works for this company, and things kind of get complicated for her when a coworker of hers, who she's actually pretty fond of, becomes a target of somebody. And so now she has to kind of like explore that avenue and figure out like what she's going to do about it, if she's going to follow through. And yeah, you go from there. So it's kind of like exploring her secret life in the background as part of this company, while also showing her in the foreground, being who she is outwardly and publicly to everybody else. And yeah, it's something that I think is going to be like a very fun plot line, and I'm definitely curious to see where this goes. I have a feeling there's going to be some miscommunication tropes in here, which I don't really like, but who knows? In this sense, it could be fun. So we'll have to wait and see. This next one sounds pretty awesome, and it's called Jade, Fire, Gold, and that's by June C.L. Tan. So I'm going to read the synopsis for this one, so I give you guys like the full like feeling of it. This book is also supposed to be for people that liked Girls of Paper and Fire and The Tiger at Midnight. So if you've read either of those books, then you might like this one. Anyways, here's the synopsis. In an empire on the brink of war, An is no one, with no past and no family. Altan is a lost heir, his future stolen away as a child. When they meet, Altan sees in An a path to reclaiming the throne. An sees a way to finally unlock her past and understand her arcane magical abilities. But they may have to pay a far deadlier price than either could have imagined. So it really doesn't give you that much to go on, but we know somebody has magical abilities. That's all I need to know. I'm invested. Let's do this. And I'm guaranteeing that there's probably going to be some cool battles in this. Like the front cover is literally people like springing into battle. So I'm already wanting to know what's going to happen next. Let's do it. Okay guys, so this next one sounds pretty awesome. I have been really looking for some more great thrillers lately, and so this one is sounding awesome. And it's called These Silent Woods by Kimmy Cunningham Grant. So I'm going to read the synopsis for this one too, because I feel like the synopsis just sounds so perfectly chilling and haunting and just exciting. All three of those things. So here it is. No electricity, no family, no connection to the outside world. For 8 years, Cooper and his young daughter Finch have lived in isolation in a remote cabin in the northern Appalachian woods. And that's exactly the way Cooper wants it, because he's got a lot to hide. Finch has been raised on the books filling the cabin's shelves and the beautiful but brutal code of life in the wilderness. But she's starting to push back against the sheltered life Cooper has created for her, and he's still haunted by the painful truth of what it took to get them there. The only people who know they exist are a mysterious local hermit named Scotland and Cooper's old friend Jake, who visits each winter to bring them food and supplies. But this year, Jake doesn't show up, setting off an irreversible chain of events that reveals just how precarious their situation really is. Suddenly, the boundaries of their safe haven have blurred, and when a stranger wanders into their woods, Finch's growing obsession with her could put them all in danger. After a shocking disappearance threatens to upend the only life Finch has ever known, Cooper is forced to decide whether to keep hiding or finally face the sins of his past. Vividly atmospheric and masterfully tense, These Silent Woods is a poignant story of survival, sacrifice, and how far a father will go when faced with losing it all. I think that sounds so intense. Like, I want to read this right now. It's like creepy, like survival and in the woods and in winter. So like, oh, it just sounds so creepy. I really think that this is going to be a really good thriller book, and I definitely will be looking for this on the shelves when it becomes October. The next one is a new horror book, and this is called Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Kah. So this one actually sounds really cool. It's based in Japanese folklore, and it's about a bunch of, I think it's teens that are like thrill seekers, and they go stay in this old abandoned mansion where there have been tales of a bride that was left here to die. And so she was apparently buried within the walls of this mansion. And so these thrill seekers spend the night there. They have drinks, games, they party it up while being in this abandoned mansion. And so this supposed bride is actually here, in fact, and becomes their living nightmare as she starts to haunt them and terrorize them throughout the evening. So I think that this sounds really cool. If any of you guys have seen the movie Grave Encounters, then this feels like it's going to be something similar in style. Grave Encounters is essentially about a bunch of people that go stay in like an asylum overnight. And it's like an old abandoned asylum. And then things start happening there. And they quickly realize that it's like a little bit haunted. So yeah, those movies are really fun. And they're kind of told in like that like first person camera style, where you have like the video recorder going around following like the different characters. And so I feel like this book, like that's how I would imagine it being told. But yeah, it definitely sounds really creepy. And I'm all for Japanese folklore, like horror stories. So that sounds awesome. Speaking of Japanese folklore, we have this new one called The Keeper of the Night by Kylie Lee Baker. And so I'm going to read the synopsis for this one for you guys as well. Half British Reaper, half Japanese Shinigami, Ren Scarborough has been collecting souls in the London streets for centuries. Expected to obey the harsh hierarchy of the Reapers who despise her, Ren conceals her emotions and avoids her tormentors as best as she can. When her failure to control her Shinigami abilities drives Ren out of London, she flees to Japan to seek the acceptance she's never gotten from her fellow Reapers. Accompanied by her younger brother, the only being on Earth to care for her, Ren enters the Japanese underworld to serve the goddess of death, only to learn that here, too, she must prove herself worthy. Determined to earn respect, Ren accepts an impossible task: find and eliminate 3 dangerous yokai demons, and learns how far she'll go to claim her place at death's side. That sounds awesome. It sounds kind of similar to the book I read earlier in the year. Actually, it might have been last year, which was 7 Deadly Shadows, which also deals with Japanese folklore. And so, yeah, I think that, like, I really enjoyed that book. I gave that book, I think, 5 stars. So that makes me think that this book is also going to be really good. And yeah, I'm really pumped. Anything with like a goddess of death just sounds awesome. So I don't know if that's a weird thing to say. Probably is a weird thing to say, but like for fantasy readers, I think that's normal. Then next up we have The Last Shadow by Orson Scott Card. And this is the long-awaited conclusion to the Ender's Shadow series. So I'm not going to say really anything else about this other than it's coming out in October. Here it is. Because, yeah, I don't want to say anything else about the series. I also haven't read the Ender's Shadow series, so like I don't even know myself. I've seen Ender's Game the movie, and I did really like that. But anyways, this is the last book in that series, and it's coming out in October. And this last one, I don't think I quite made it to 15, but this is the last one we're going to do. And so the last one is A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. So if anybody doesn't know, what fairy tale would you guess this is telling us about? Yep, this is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. So this one deals with a main character who has a rare condition where everybody dies at the age of 21 from this condition, and they are about to have their 21st birthday. So the main character's friend decides to throw them a big party because they're a big fan of Sleeping Beauty. And so they do like a whole Sleeping Beauty themed party with a spindle and everything. But when the main character touches the spindle, they find themselves being drawn into other worlds. And there is another version of Sleeping Beauty that is also trying to escape their similar fate. And so it's kind of like Sleeping Beauty, but with like a multiverse element to it, which I think is really cool. And I have not seen any take on it like this before, so I think that that will be really interesting. So yeah, and those are all the books that I have on my list for anticipated books coming out in October. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any anticipated releases that I haven't mentioned here, or if I've mentioned them here, let me know if you're excited about them or there are any specific ones that you think sound awesome. Do all that in the comments down below. And now for our independent bookstore shout out.
Okay guys, so today's independent bookstore is for Ivy's Bookshop, and this is in Victoria, British Columbia. So this is their website. I love their little cat in their logo that's like using the eye as a scratch post. I think that's adorable. Anyway, so this is their site. This is what their store looks like. Looks like they got some like specialty cards and postcards there, which is pretty cool. So like all other bookstores, they have the browse section, which brings you to the area where all the books are that you can get. So yeah, you can go here and look it up. They don't really have any like special things on here. They do offer gift cards, so you can get those online or in store as well. And they have staff picks, so you can see all their staff picks here. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty basic for a bookstore. So yeah, definitely go check out ivysbookshop.com and get some books.
If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a Coffee page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.